They gave no care to horrors and evil and the things that Jeffrey Epstein was doing, even to the point, like I read this morning that Dr. Oz invited Epstein to some Valentine's Day party he and his wife were having in 2016. This is Dr. Oz that's
Oh
currently serving in the
no.
Trump
I love
administration
Dr.
over
Oz.
Medicare.
I love him.
Exactly. But that was that was after Epstein had been convicted of pedophilia.
What's up, everybody? Major Retired Richard Ojeda here, and Marjorie Taylor Greene is going scorched earth on Dr. Oz. And it's not just because it was revealed that he had Valentine's Day plans with Jeffrey Epstein. Nope, it's because this deep state child trafficking ring, the people with the most ties to Jeffrey Epstein, turn out to be from the Republican Party. A lot of them are in Congress right now, and Marge wants them all frickin' gone.
So it's like, what? How do these people, and that's the hardest part, these are people that we may love, people that we have cheered for, people that I know I supported, and it's both sides of the aisle. Everybody has got to come to the horrible, nasty truth in our faces that have all come together, and it was about making money, it was about influence, it was about power, and it is being part of the ruling world elites that have affected all of our lives.
The MAGA agenda is unraveling faster than a ball of yarn in a house full of cats. Yep, the MAGA disinformation machine may be grinding to a halt. All the lies and BS they've been shoveling for years is finally catching up with them. And it's pretty clear red flag indicator of how far the country has drifted into the uncharted waters of insanity when a former Trump bootlicking MAGA member of Congress starts sounding like the voice of reason.
If we as a country cannot swallow that down and hold our government accountable, Jillian, it's beyond. I think it's gone already, but it is past gone. If we cannot do that, seriously, if we can't say this, no, we've had it with every single one of you.
Yes.
Get the out of here. Like, what are we?
Marjorie Taylor Greene is going nuclear. And it's not just because Donald Trump is mad at her and called her a traitor. That's the surface drama. The real reason is Epstein. It's always been Epstein. It's the files. It's the refusal to take her name off the discharge petition and Trump's retaliation. Just like we saw with Nancy Mace and Lauren Boebert. It's Marge standing up and saying she's standing with women who were raped as teenagers and younger. And she's not standing with the government or any cover-up. And Trump is pissed about it. He told her his friends would get hurt and spare me the BS. It's not his friends, it's him. He's the kingpin at the center of this nightmare. The deep state cabal they've been screaming about for years. She just blew the lid off of it. This isn't politics anymore. It's about protecting pedophiles and their enablers. And once she started pulling that thread, the whole damn ball of yarn come apart. An apparent line that was crossed was Dr. Oz inviting Jeffrey Epstein to a Valentine's Day party. Let that sink in. This is the man Trump put in charge of Medicare and Medicaid, setting up a date with a pedophile. And Pam Bondi showing up to Congress with a notebook full of preloaded insults and attack lines instead of answers is a joke. And Marge is furious about the dismissal of pure evil, the horrific violence inflicted on innocent children, trauma that has destroyed lives, trauma that people like Virginia Giuffre carried until it broke them. That's the line in the sand for her. She's had enough. And she's right about the pattern. This isn't random. It's money, power, influence. An elite billionaire club that thought the rules didn't apply to them and don't apply to them now. The same people MAGA spent years screaming were the deep state turned out to be sitting inside their own party. Some of them are still in Congress. Some of them are named in the files. Some of them are protected by Trump's administration right now.
Pam Bondi, she serves at the pleasure of the president and his administration, and those there are telling her, here's who you can prosecute. No, don't do this. I mean, they told her that the Epstein files, that fight to release the Epstein files came directly from President Trump. And I know a lot of people have a hard time with that, but that is the truth. He fought the hardest to stop these files from being released. And the only reason that he signed our bill that we passed in the House was because he had to. It became a massive political problem. Biggest political miscalculation in Donald Trump's career was calling this a hoax, fighting the release of it, and having Mike Johnson, the speaker, refuse to bring the bill to the floor, to the point where Thomas Massie, myself, Nancy Mason, Lauren Boebert actually had to vote with all of the Democrats to get it released.
While it has been an interesting plot twist watching her go from MAGA conspiracy theorist to an outspoken critic of Trump, I probably won't be buying any of her memoirs after all these circuit riding interviews are said and done. And talking about conspiracy, a lot has been going on with the Epstein conversation. Shocking allegations of faked deaths and prisoner swaps. Yeah, people all across social media have been talking about the jail video and that missing minute with Epstein supposedly took his own life. Yeah, folks are saying that was fake and that Epstein is still alive and living outside of the country. They're also saying that a recently released photo of Ghislaine Maxwell isn't her at all, and that a video of her walking at a facility with an umbrella is to hide the face of the alleged double body taking her place. There's a lot of confusion and spin going on. Mainstream media in this country hasn't been as forthcoming as world news agencies, and folks across the nation know that Trump and his enablers have been doing everything that they can do to keep the truth from being revealed. But the cracks are showing, and the rift between the MAGA supporters that stood against pedophilia in the past and the ones now that are loyal to Trump regardless of what he does is growing every day. MAGA has effectively turned on each other, and it's surreal watching folks like Marjorie Taylor Greene fan the flames and discord to torch MAGA and watch it burn to the ground.
Did you know that the big wireless carriers like Verizon and AT&T made over $18 billion in profit last year? How? By overcharging you for unlimited data, most of which you probably aren't even using. But what if you could get paid to use your phone less and only pay for the data you do use? Well, with Noble Mobile, you can. For just $50 a month on their No Bull plan, you get unlimited data, and whatever data you don't use, you get cash back right in your pocket. People who switch to Noble can save an average of $500 to $1,000 a year. It's a no-brainer. And by switching to Noble, you're directly supporting TYT and our mission of bringing you honest, independent news. So give Noble a try and make the switch today. Scan the QR code on the screen now or visit go.tyt.com/plan. That's go.tyt.com/plan.
That's why everything is being slow-walked. That's why the files are buried. That's why Bondi dodges and snarls instead of answering questions. Because if she prosecutes everyone associated with the Epstein files, the entire Trump administration would collapse. And Greene is absolutely right about this part too. The Attorney General doesn't work independently. She works for the president. Unfortunately, Pam Bondi is acting more like Donald Trump's personal Ghislaine Maxwell and less like an Attorney General. They're all in the same club. Trace it up the chain and it leads to one place: Donald Trump. And history already told us how this ends. During Watergate, it wasn't just the president under scrutiny. Nixon's attorney general went to prison. And during the Nuremberg trials, I was just following orders wasn't an effective defense. Trump fought harder than anyone to block these files. He called it a democratic hoax. But now the panic is obvious because everyone can see through it. It's not just his friends going to pay for what they did. It's Donald Trump too. And Marge nailed it in terms even Donald Trump's non-college educated base can understand. If it walks like a duck, talks like a duck, and quacks like a duck, it's a duck. And Donald Trump has been doing nothing but ducking the truth. That's why the MAGA agenda is unraveling, and honestly, that's exactly how it should be. Marjorie Taylor Greene has spent years being one of the loudest, most annoying voices in Congress, and nobody's forgetting that. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Right now, she's saying things that desperately need to be said. Is it late? Absolutely. Is it frustrating that she didn't do this while she still had a seat and real leverage inside Congress? Yes. She could have been far more effective fighting this from the inside instead of from podcasts and interview circuits. But the fact that someone who helped build the MAGA machine is now openly calling out the rot at its core, it matters. It shows how deep this crisis really is. When people like Marge start breaking ranks, it tells you the pressure is real and the lies are collapsing. Now the question is, what comes next with her? Is this genuine reckoning or just another spotlight chase now that she's a civilian? Either way, the story isn't over, and that is an absolute fact. Sappers clear the way, airborne all the way.